Hello everybody, Keith here again. Just a reasonably short video this time. I'm going to do some repotting probably tomorrow now, but I thought you might like to have a look at our purchases from the Chelsea Flower Show before we start doing anything with them. These are a couple of no ID Cyclamen. I think these are the hederifolia types, the ivy-leafed ones with this lovely patterning on them. You've got a bright red one and a lovely deep sort of purplish colour there. And they're going to go out in the garden, although they're bred as ornamentals. They're pretty hardy for the most part. We actually had at one stage one of the very large blousy ones with huge leaves that you see in garden centres, and that lasted outside for a number of years, so they'll be fine outside. The other, let's do this one next. That, believe it or not, is a hippeastrum. Most of us will know it better as Amaryllis, although I'm told that's completely the wrong name for them. I've never seen one that size. It was cost me a chunk, but it's 6 inches, 150mm across. You're going to have to go into an 8-inch pot. I looked at one or two videos on YouTube about potting these up and getting it right, because obviously something as massive as this should produce some really big, beautiful flower spikes in the near future. And that's it. One of them said to soak the roots, but like we do with orchids, it softens them up. Obviously this has been packed up and been dried for a bit. So I'm going to do that, but that's going to have to go into an 8-inch flower pot, which is considerably bigger than the ones we've had. We had some for ages and they flower every year, but if you just leave them be, ours flower in March, April, sort of Easter time, if you like. So let's move this out of the way for a start. Now then, we've got some Hostas, which we've had for several years, and we keep in pots on a raised bed around the back of the conservatory, and they seem to be doing quite well. They're not potted up into anything big. These pots are sunk into some inert material that sort of props them up, and we were advised by the growers where we bought them to let them fill the pot, then pot them up and keep potting them up. Don't over pot them. A bit like orchids, they don't want to be over potted. This is I think a species. The others are all hybrids, and this is Hosta Plantagina Grandiflora. And these are a couple of young plants in here. They're not going to flower probably next year even. They're going to have to get a bit bigger than that, and the leaves can get considerably taller, and the leaves themselves can get bigger. But they had a specimen plant on the stall to show you what you were buying, and the flowers on that were probably 2.5 inches, 60 centimetres long from the tips back, which is probably 3 times the size of most of the flowers we get in ours, and they're white, whereas all the other 3 we've got, the flowers, as I say, are much smaller, and those are purple. And the one that most of you would have been expecting me to bring back from Chelsea, this of course is an Obsidian Orchid. Back a bit so we can see it better. There were no nurseries there this year, but there was the Orchid Society of Great Britain had a very nice display, and to make sure they got enough plants to show, they bought some in from the normal wholesale supplies, and this was one of them. And I had a long chat with the two ladies manning the stand, a real sort of gossip, and they were trying to persuade me to join their society as well as the East Midlands. And I was saying I was looking for small orchids, so she said, "Oh, I can sell you a Soto Annum if you like." And I went, "Pardon?" She said, "We've got these spares, we're selling them off. They're nice plants, and you can have one for £15. And I thought, well, that's nice. And the one that actually got out was okay. And then one of them said, "Let's make sure that's the best one we've got." They disappeared around the back of the store into a sort of sheeted off area, and they came back with this one, which is a cracker. We've got 3 mature pseudo bulbs, and these are quite big, as you can see. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 new growths as well, and we've got 2 flower spikes in flower and 2 more developing. I want you off camera down here. So this is, in my opinion, quite a nice plant, but a good buy for the money. But it's loose in the pot. It's obviously got jostled about. It was dry, but we got quite a lot of root in there. It's in that horrible peaty stuff, and I think that's going to have to come out of there reasonably quickly, so I can get in some new stuff and spike it properly and get it so that it's stable. So that's that. My next one, as I say, will be repotting this one, probably repotting my Vostochiara, and just by the complete contrast, potting that Amaryllis bulb up, and we'll see where we go from there. So, thank you for watching. I hope that's been of some interest. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.